On the eve of the engagement, my boyfriend accidentally projected our chat onto the TV. She is very good and very suitable for marriage. No need to buy gifts. No need to coax. And no need to pay betrothal gifts. Even without love, I can live a good life. 1. How about going to Lyon for fun? I saw a very beautiful homestay on the internet. I excitedly took out the travel guide that I had made for a long time. Before I could hand it to Leo, he had already stretched out his arm and pushed it away. His handsome eyebrows and eyes were calm. There was no impatience. But there was also no interest. Just as always. Calm like a stagnant pool. You can decide. I don't care. I'll go to the bathroom. Leo got up and left. I sheepishly took back my phone. He is good in everything. Good looking. Good tempered. Good at work. And also not bad to me. It's just that his personality is really too cold. At a young age. He looks unworldly. We have been together for so long. And I have never seen him lose his temper. Of course. I have never seen him laugh heartily either. What a straight man of steel. I secretly grumbled in my heart for a while. Somehow, the homestay that I thought was extremely beautiful just now looks ordinary at the moment. Disappointed. I put down my phone and lay on the sofa and glanced at the TV. There was an American drama on TV, which Leo liked very much. He specially bought the resources on a certain platform by spending money. The male lead was speaking. As the picture changed, the information channel popped up. Leo, I heard that you are getting engaged next month? This is a good thing. Why didn't you notify your brothers? This familiar avatar is Leo's roommate Howard. 2. I couldn't help but become interested. After being together for so many years, I have never looked at Leo's phone. On the one hand, Leo is a very self-disciplined person. His life is simple and his social circle is clean. I trust him. On the other hand, he attaches great importance to privacy and boundaries and is very disgusted with behaviors like looking at each other's phones. But this time it was accidentally projected out by himself. Of course I have to take a good look. Leo, he didn't notify a single friend about the engagement? I rolled my eyes. Sure enough. It's his style. There's nothing to say. It's just an engagement. Howard, you haven't changed your partner, right? Is it still Mandy? Leo, yes. Howard, I guessed it. Besides her, who else can tolerate your temperament? Mandy is really not easy. I nodded in agreement. Having such a wooden boyfriend, who doesn't understand romance and doesn't know how to take care of people like Leo. It has really been very difficult these years. Howard, I still remember that when you were with her. It was to forget Jocelyn. But Mandy's temper is really many times better than Jocelyn's. Mandy's temper is really good. That time she was angry. As a result, you couldn't leave because of a dungeon. She waited for you alone in the restaurant for 2 hours and it was fine. In the past, when you had a date with Jocelyn, which time didn't you arrive early? If you were late for even 1 minute, Jocelyn would cry and make a fuss. 3. Jocelyn? Leo's ex-girlfriend Jocelyn? I stared blankly at the TV. My mind going blank. She and Leo were high school classmates. The two had been together since their first year of high school. And Leo and I were college classmates. But I remember they broke up in the first semester of freshman year. At that time, Leo was extremely sad and got drunk in a restaurant and even vomited all over me who passed by. That's how we met. But when we really started to interact, was because we joined the same club in sophomore year. According to Howard's meaning, he still couldn't get over it after more than a year of breaking up and took me as emotional comfort to heal his broken heart. That time when she was angry was even more outrageous. Leo didn't even explain. He just said he had something very important. He had been preparing for this thing for several months and really couldn't leave. Leo likes writing. At that time, he had been insisting on submitting to a certain magazine but was rejected every time. I know there is a novel that he has been writing for a year. At that time, he was late. I naturally thought it was because of work. Unexpectedly, it was because of a dungeon. Yes. Some game dungeons do require several months of preparation. He didn't lie to me. I forced a few laughs. While laughing, tears came out. What Howard said is really interesting. Was Leo originally a person who would arrive early for a date? Over the years. Because he is busy with work, I am always the one waiting for him when we have a date. 20 minutes. 40 minutes. An hour. I am used to waiting. Later. I will arrive half an hour later than the appointed time. 4. Leo. She has a good temper and is very suitable for marriage. Howard. I agree with this. When I was young, I envied the passionate love between you and Jocelyn. But when I get older, I realize that a girl like Mandy who is gentle and generous and doesn't care about anything is easy to get along with. I rubbed my eyes. Leo finally praised me once. But why are my tears flowing even more fiercely? Leo is a very reserved person, and also very traditional. He seldom expresses affirmation and love to me. When I ask him if I'm beautiful, or if my clothes are nice, there are always just a faint words, not bad. In the 7 years we've been together, he hasn't even said, I love you. Whenever I ask this, he changes the topic and says which grown man would talk about love all the time? Isn't it boring? Not boring. Leo, did you also have a passionate love before? Passionate. Passionate. Tears blurred my vision. I wiped them away fiercely, and looked up to continue looking at the big screen. Howard, now that you're getting married, be nicer to her in the future. All of us have been betting on when you'll doctor Mandy away. Leo, don't worry. She won't. 5. Leo is really confident. Why is he so confident? This confidence seems to be given by me. Being late for a date? It's okay. I understand. It's all for work. Forgetting birthdays? It's fine. People always make mistakes sometimes. Never celebrate other festivals. I should respect others' preferences. If he doesn't like celebrating festivals, then I can just celebrate by myself. So on all the QIXI festivals, Valentine's Days, and Christmas Days, I would buy myself a bouquet of flowers, and then go to a restaurant and have a delicious meal. You can like the sense of ceremony, but you can't force others to have a sense of ceremony too. You're not wrong to like celebrating festivals. I'm not wrong to hate celebrating festivals. We should understand and respect each other. After Leo said these words very seriously, he refused to celebrate all festivals with me except birthdays. Howard, you and Mandy are from the same city, right? I remember that engagements there are very complicated. You need to prepare return gifts, 3 pieces of gold jewelry, wear festive clothes, and have more than a dozen tables for the banquet. Have you arranged all these? Leo, I don't need to worry about these. She will handle it. Howard, damn. You're really lucky. You're a hands-off boss. I gave a wry smile. Howard is really right. For the engagement matter, it seems that I'm the only one taking care of it. After being in a relationship for 7 years, my parents said that I'm not young anymore, and it's time to plan for marriage and having children. So I asked my parents to call Leo's parents. His parents' attitude is similar to Leo's. You choose. You book the restaurant. When the time comes, they will definitely come and attend. 6. Howard, by the way, I heard that the betrothal gifts in your place are very high. Tens of thousands. How much does Mandy's family ask for? Leo, her family didn't mention it. What era is it now? Isn't this feudal dross? Howard, her family didn't mention it, so your family won't give it? Awesome. Does Mandy have sisters? Can you introduce one to me? Leo, boring. I took out a tissue to dry my tears and picked up a cup to drink a big mouthful of water. I cried so hard just now that my throat is a bit hoarse. A noble and pure Leo has a common problem with other men. Once he enters the toilet, he can't come out for half an hour. For the engagement matter, Leo's family didn't say anything. The meaning is that when we've arranged everything, they will just come and have a meal. I booked the banquet. I chose the return gifts. Even the suit that Leo will wear to the banquet is bought by me. No matter what opinion I ask Leo for, he always has that look. You decide. As long as you like it. It's fine. I don't care. Now thinking about it. Does he not care about these things or not care about me? Howard. By the way, I almost forgot the main thing. Jocelyn is getting married. She also sent us an invitation. She said she deleted your contact information at that time and asked me for your phone number. She will probably send you an invitation later too. 7. The TV sound continued. Leo exited the chat. And the sound of flushing came from the bathroom. I lowered my head halfway and pretended to look at my phone. Without saying a word, Leo came out of the bathroom expressionlessly. It seemed that he didn't even notice that his chat had been completely seen by me. He sat down silently beside me without even looking at me. Naturally, he didn't notice my swollen eyes and reddened nose. Ding-ling-ling, the phone rang. I glanced at it. It was an unfamiliar number. Leo picked up the phone. His voice had a slight tremor. Hello. It's me. Well, congratulations. Okay. I will attend on time. Is this Jocelyn's call? A chill spread from my heart to every part of my body. I know Leo too well. In all these years we've been together. The last time he was so nervous was when he received a call from the company boss. At that time, he was competing with another person for the position of vice president. For this position, he had been preparing for a whole year. Leo hung up the phone. His expression was flat, but his hand was squeezing the phone hard. Because he was squeezing too hard, the veins on the back of his hand bulged, which was very glaring. Mandy. Leo softened his tone. The few suits you showed me last time. I didn't look carefully at that time. Send me the link. I suddenly raised my head and stared at him fixedly. Leo was startled by my swollen and red eyes. For once, his words carried a hint of tenderness. What's wrong? Your eyes are as red as a rabbit's. Was the TV show just now so touching? You are always so sentimental. He affectionately patted my head. In the past, I would have thrown myself into his arms and acted copiously. Now, I just casually turned sideways and dodged his outstretched hand. Displeasure surfaced in Leo's eyes. Come here. He patted the sofa. Leo has always been that kind of child from someone else's family since he was young. Good-looking, excellent in studies, the teacher's favorite, the role model for classmates, and the pride of parents. These experiences have also cultivated his unyielding nature. Moreover, influenced by his father, he is also a bit chauvinistic. I have a gentle personality and rarely go against his will. But this time, I was holding a breath in my heart and didn't want to pay any attention to him at all. Seeing that I didn't move at all, Leo got angry. He got up and walked back to the room, slamming the door heavily. In the past, I would have been very nervous and comforted and pleased him. Now, I just sit dazed, lie on the sofa, and start recalling our 7 years. As a man, Leo is obviously very charming. He has a handsome appearance and maintains a perfect figure. He is a person who is very strict with himself. He doesn't smoke or drink, goes to bed early and gets up early, and exercises every day. Moreover, he works hard, is motivated, self-disciplined and intelligent. 9. But if Leo is not good to me, then what does his goodness have to do with me? I lowered my head and began to seriously think about our relationship for the first time. I like him. At first sight, I couldn't help but be attracted. Leo is my first boyfriend. The first time holding hands. The first hug. The first kiss. The most beautiful years of my youth were all spent with Leo. He is so good that when I am with him, I always feel a bit inferior. It is these inferiorities that make me back down step by step, make me lose my temper, and put me in the current situation. After 7 years of being together day and night, he is unforgettable to me. For him, I am just suitable for marriage. Soon. Leo came out again with a stern face. Remember to send me the link to the suit. I was so angry that I laughed. He didn't even take a look at the suit he was going to wear for our engagement. For his ex-girlfriend's wedding. He knows to buy clothes. No. I deleted it. Leo looked at me in extreme surprise and finally noticed my unusual behavior. What's going on? What temper are you throwing? Is work not going well? If work is not going well, don't take it out on me. We are all adults. Digest external emotions outside. I don't want to be a punching bag. You should reflect on yourself. Leo poured a glass of water and went back to his room. From today on, we officially entered a Cold War. 10. Unexpectedly. Jocelyn's marriage partner is actually my colleague. My colleague sent me an electronic invitation. I stared at the photo on it for a long time in a daze. This world is really small. Jocelyn's wedding is on the weekend. Leo finally ended the Cold War with me and spoke to me early in the morning. Give me 10,000 yuan. After graduation. Leo very actively gave me his salary card. He said that only when a woman manages money can a family maintain stability to the greatest extent. Leo. He is very serious about getting married to me. I took out 10,000 in cash from the drawer and gave it to him. Then I watched coldly as he washed his hair, shaved, and dressed up carefully. Rarely see you so grand. Are you going to the company today? Leo paused in his action of polishing shoes. Well, there is a business meeting. It's very important. I'll leave first. I won't come back for lunch or dinner. I took a deep breath and sat in front of the mirror and put on an extremely gorgeous makeup. Leo. See you at the wedding. The wedding was very simple. The man's family is from the countryside. The wedding banquet was held in a large shed set up in the village hall. This is the first time I have come to my colleague's village. Which surprises me a little. Because Xavier usually seems to spend a lot of money and is very particular about his personal image. I once thought he was a rich second generation. Weddings in the countryside are always more lively than in the city. Aunts and uncles. People attending the banquet. Looking at the bride. And asking for candies. Jocelyn is wearing a very fitted fistate wedding dress, revealing her proud curves and a large area of fair and delicate skin. 11. I'm mingled among the onlookers and soon waited for Leo. He walked towards Jocelyn slowly and firmly step by step, with a sacred and solemn expression, like a devout pilgrim. Jocelyn was also very excited to see Leo, and her eyes quickly turned red. Leo handed Jocelyn a thick red envelope. Long time no see. Happy wedding. Jocelyn bit her lip and looked at Leo, with a complicated expression. Seemingly very happy and seemingly a little sad. Long time no see. Leo. Soon. Other guests arrived one after another. Leo stepped aside and stared intently at Jocelyn, seizing every minute. He looked so focused and serious, as if he would never see this person again after today. How ridiculous. If he looked around, he would find that I was actually standing very close to him. Xavier's wife doesn't seem decent at all. Who is she showing so much flesh to? Oh, that's right. There are so many people. She shows half of her chest. I was too embarrassed to look at her. People in big cities are more open. I heard that it's because she is pregnant that they got married. Otherwise, Howard's family wouldn't recognize this daughter-in-law. It seems that all the people around me are relatives from the man's village. After standing for only a few minutes, I heard a lot of gossip. Well, I heard that it was Jocelyn who dumped Leo by all means, disliking his stinginess and spending money and lack of romance. But it seems that her current marriage partner has a bunch of troublesome relatives. I quickly found my seat and sat down. How ridiculous. I had been fantasizing in my mind about what I should say to Leo if he saw me. Unexpectedly. There is no such trouble at all. He is completely lost in his own world, in a state of despondency. He didn't even respond when his friends stood beside him and called him, let alone seeing me in the bustling crowd. 12. The banquet started soon. For the first time, I saw so many expressions on Leo's face. In just a few minutes, I saw more expressions than in the 7 years I was with him. Loss, sentimentality, reminiscence, joy, confusion, heartache, regret. Seeing Leo's current appearance, I suddenly understood. He has never loved me. So he won't be angry, won't quarrel, and won't be jealous. I thought he was easygoing, cold, and taciturn. In fact, it's all because he doesn't love me. Because he doesn't love me. He is unwilling to spend time with me. Because he doesn't mind. There is no emotional fluctuation on me. Because it doesn't matter. Everything is done in the way he likes. At the moment of understanding, in addition to sadness, there is more of a sense of relief. It's like a prisoner waiting for sentencing, finally hearing the final judgment. Oh, Mandy, why are you crying? Are you touched? It's not necessary at all. Don't you know what kind of person Xavier is? He is so extravagant in spending money. I heard that in order to chase his current wife, he applied for more than a dozen credit cards and swiped everywhere. I estimate that he should be close to $1 million in debt now. When in love, it's romantic. Star-rated hotels, round-the-world trips, famous brand bags. After getting married, the woman is probably going to start paying off debts with him. I was choked by my own saliva and listened in shock as my colleagues at the company started gossiping about Xavier. 13. Putting aside sadness and distress for the moment, I pricked up my ears and became fully alert to listen to my colleagues chatting. How do you know so much? Colleague Lena tossed her hair. Who is like you? A technical backbone who buries yourself in work every day. We are all in the business department and have plenty of time to slack off. Just look at Xavier's wife's WIBO and you'll know. In just last year alone, she went to Maldives, France, Egypt, and Ben. I pretended to be calm and took out my phone. You even have her WIBO? What's her name? I'll follow her too. Oh, you like gossip too. Lena's eyes lit up as if she had found an ally. After a meal, I probably know Jocelyn even more deeply than Leo. So this is the kind of girl Leo likes. Likes dressing up, being coquettish, having fun, and enjoying excitement and romance. I heard that Jocelyn can not only surf and ski but also play the guitar well and sing beautifully. She is a romantic and passionate girl like a rose. The deeply hidden inferiority complex began to spread again. Compared to Jocelyn, I am boring, rigid, can't sing or dance, can't drink or exercise. My biggest hobby is cooking. After work, I either study delicious food or watch dramas. No wonder Leo would find me boring. Compared to Jocelyn, I am indeed boring enough. I looked at the girl with unrestrained smile in my phone, and my heart started to ache again. If Jocelyn is mellow liquor, then I am plain boiled water with no taste. 14. Jocelyn is so amazing. So talented. Young, beautiful, and able to make money. It's a pity to marry Xavier. Faftelina snorted and interrupted my sigh. Who told you that Jocelyn can make money? I looked at her blankly. Surfing, skiing, traveling everywhere. From what I see, she seems to live this kind of life every day even before being with Xavier. If she's not rich herself, then her family must be rich. She's a proper rich and beautiful woman. Lena rolled her eyes. You think everyone is like you? Only dare to spend money when you have it in your pocket. She spends extravagantly even when she has no money in her pocket. Jocelyn's father is an ordinary office worker and her mother is a housewife. The whole family just makes a living. Her glamorous life is all paid for by credit cards. I heard that the reason she is with Xavier is because Xavier helped her pay off tens of thousands of credit card debts when he confessed. Xavier is also someone who looks glamorous but has empty pockets. He spent hundreds of thousands chasing after someone and spent hundreds of thousands on this year's relationship. I estimate he also owes a lot of debts. He asked me to borrow money last month. He has almost borrowed from everyone in our company. My sympathy was clearly written on my face and hadn't to be withdrawn. Well, I understand again. While Leo always says I am very suitable for marriage. Both my parents are in the system and have high pensions. There are houses and savings at home. And I also have a high salary. After work, I basically stay at home cooking and cleaning, excluding my parents' money. And just for years after graduation, I have saved nearly 600. Sorrow. Or should I change my lifestyle and go out and play more often like Jocelyn? 15. After eating a meal with a full mind of thoughts. When I was leaving, I accidentally stepped on Leo's foot. He looked at me in shock, with an expression of disbelief. Mandy, are you following me? I responded with a sneer. Your eyesight has finally recovered. I am a colleague of the groom and I am sitting at the table opposite you. Leo was even angrier. He had a cold face. Why didn't you tell me? You're asking a bit strangely. Since when did you start caring about where I am going? Leo was speechless for a moment, and then his face became even darker. Mandy, this is my freedom. Don't try to interfere. I nodded. Take leave. I know Leo still wants to be with me. But I don't want to be with him anymore. After seeing what his lover looks like, I finally understand how much he doesn't love me. A person who can't be loved in 7 years probably won't be loved in this lifetime. Leo, I won't force you anymore. I walked forward past Leo. Opening the car door and stepping on the accelerator were done in one go. Leo's stiff figure standing there was quickly left far behind by me. 16. I said I wouldn't be sad. But tears soon blurred my vision. Holding the steering wheel, memories of being with Leo welled up in my heart. His quietness when reading, concentration when exercising, seriousness when working. I gave all my love to this man. I know everything about him. Every day, I do my best to give him a warm and comfortable home. I really don't understand. Can 7 years of being together day and night be less than a short 3-year high school relationship? Maybe it's because Jocelyn is really too charming. That girl as gorgeous as fireworks. When I got home, Leo hadn't returned yet. The lobby manager of the engagement hotel called me. Miss Mandy, you said earlier that you wanted to add 3 more dishes to the menu. Have you decided on the dishes yet? I want to cancel the banquet. The voice on the other end immediately became tense. Cancel? But if you cancel, the 30 0 deposit you paid earlier can't be refunded. Well, then don't refund it. Cancel it. I hung up the phone and started packing my things. This house belongs to Leo. After graduating from college, he said that it was deserted when he came home from work every day. So I moved in. I opened the closet and saw my clothes next to Leo's. My nose soured and tears immediately fell. He was my first love in my youth and also the lifelong destination I'd been longing for. How can I bear it? In relationships, it's always the one who gives more who finds it harder to let go. Should I give Leo another chance? 17. I plan to have a good talk with Leo and give him another chance. Soon, Leo arrived home rubbing his temples, looking exhausted. Leo, let's talk. He sighed. I just went to say goodbye to my youth. Can't you stop thinking so much? Jocelyn and I were in high school. How many years have passed? I'm very tired. Don't think too much. Okay? Before I could open my mouth, Leo had already stood up impatiently and gone to the study. I doggedly followed. I don't want to talk about Jocelyn. I want to talk about the things between us. Leo looked up and frowned. What's wrong with us? I looked at him, and all the grievances in my heart surged up at once. I feel that you don't care enough about me. You seldom talk to me. You don't care about anything regarding our engagement. On weekends, you just read books and go fishing by yourself and seldom accompany me to play. You don't even quarrel with me. Because of excitement. My voice choked, and I was even a bit incoherent. I seldom lose my composure like this in front of Leo. He was obviously surprised and finally began to listen to me carefully. Did you always have so many complaints? I thought we got along fairly well. I wiped my face in a hurry and my tone rose by 3 points. Of course you're happy. You're the one who enjoys it. When you come home every day, you hide in the study without caring about anything. I'm the one who does the cleaning and cooking. I'm also the one who titties up the clothes. When you're in a bad mood, you can talk to me. When I'm in a bad mood, I can only deal with it by myself. Leo came over and hugged me, gently patting my back. Okay. It's my negligence. I'll pay attention. I finally couldn't hold back and hugged Leo and burst into loud sobs. Since I was young, my parents have been very strict with me. No matter what achievements I make, they will only say that I can do better. So when I met Leo, his gentleness and kindness made me feel that I had met my salvation. How much love does a person who is very lacking in love need to be filled? Just a little is enough. 18. In the following days, Leo was indeed much warmer towards me. After work, he would talk to me. Today, he even specially proposed to accompany me for a walk in the park near our home, which made me feel extremely flattered. Mandy, how much money do I have with you? Leo looked preoccupied. After walking to laps, he finally couldn't help but speak. There are X0. Zero. What's wrong? I have a friend who wants to borrow X0. Zero. Can you gather X0? Zero for me? I pulled back my hand held by Leo and looked up at him seriously. So this period of tenderness and consideration is all paving the way for today? Which friend? Leo is quite macho at heart. After we got together, he never let me pay for meals and dates. After living together, I would take the initiative to buy fruits, meat and vegetables every month. He would also transfer 6 yuan of living expenses to me every month. He also pays for the utilities at home. He said that supporting one's wife is a man's most basic responsibility. Leo, who is so macho, actually asks me to borrow money? He is a person who would even send me a red envelope if I bought him a slightly more expensive gift. Leo was silent. In fact, he is not very good at lying and seldom lies. Is it Jocelyn? He looked at me in surprise, with a hint of anger in his eyes. Did you look at my phone? I sneered. Is it really her? 19. Leo was filled with anger. A touch of red soon appeared on his fair and handsome face. Mandy, I've told you that there should be boundaries even between couples. You've crossed the line. If you don't even have this much trust in me, then it will be very difficult for us to go on in the future. I bit my lip, only feeling that the brief happiness and joy of these few days was a joke. Then let's not go on. Mandy, Leo shouted loudly. After being together for so long, I finally saw Leo get anxious. I've told you, right? I don't like girls who use breaking up as a threat. If you don't want to lend money, you can just say so directly. But don't mention breaking up. I don't fall for this. For me, once it's mentioned, it's a complete breakup. I took a deep breath and held back my tears. Fine. Then I don't want to. Mandy, don't be like this. Our money is just sitting in the bank anyway. Now that Jocelyn is in trouble, I want to help her. I said, I don't want to. I turned around and walked away quickly, not wanting to waste another word with Leo. Leo and I fell into a cold war again, and our relationship dropped to freezing point. He took the initiative to move to the tatami in the study to sleep. He didn't eat the breakfast I made for him. Instead, he would rather cook instant noodles himself. At night, I had to work overtime until very late due to something urgent. I found that in the dirty laundry basket piled up on the balcony, he had picked out all his clothes, washed and dried them. Only my shirt and pants were left alone, huddled there. My heart grew colder little by little. I laughed at myself sarcastically. You really deserve it. Mandy. 20. After a week of Cold War, Leo finally couldn't hold it in anymore. He took the initiative to come to the bedroom. Mandy. Then how about this? I won't borrow your money. As for the salary card that's with you, can you return it to me first? I looked indifferently at this man whom I had loved wholeheartedly for 7 years. Fine. Leo heaved a sigh of relief and came over to hug me. That's right. This is being good. Don't worry. Jocelyn will definitely return it to me. I will also work harder to make money and give you a good life. Fine. The next morning, Leo went to work. I took a day off. I called the movers and had them pack up all my things neatly. Those who make a lot of noise are the ones who are reluctant to leave. Those who are really going to leave won't even leave a word of farewell. Actually, I have a house near the company. But Leo's house is closer to his company. After I moved here, my commuting time each day increased by nearly an hour compared to before. Leo thought it was perfectly reasonable because he is a man and I am a woman. If he moved to my place, it would make him feel embarrassed. I gently put the key on the entrance cabinet and then took out my phone and deleted and blocked all of Leo's contact information. Goodbye, Leo. Goodbye, my youth. 21. My parents were obviously shocked by my breakup with Leo. I waited nervously for them to scold me. But my dad just sighed softly. It's good that you broke up. Their family is not a good place to settle down. My mom's eyes reddened, and she gently patted my head. You, like a hot-headed barber, are all one-sided in your enthusiasm. A husband and wife are like a balance. If it's obviously unbalanced, it won't last long. It turns out that everyone could see it. Only I was trapped in my own beautiful love fantasy, moved by myself and indulging in it. I threw myself into my mom's arms and cried bitterly. It's so good. At the most difficult moment, my family can support me. Leo should have been driven crazy by my leaving without saying goodbye. He didn't even come to look for me once. I went to work calmly every day as usual. After work, I would buy groceries and go home to cook. The large 3-bedroom apartment was extremely empty. I often sat alone on the sofa in a daze. Sometimes it seemed as if I could still hear Leo calling me. Mandy. Pour me a glass of water. Mandy. I want sweet and sour spare ribs tonight. Mandy. Where did you put my shirt from yesterday? Leo is so bad. Even after breaking up, he still won't let me go. I buried my head in my arms and only felt a big hole in my heart. The wind whistled past, bringing a chill. Compared to my lifeless self, Jocelyn's life became even more colorful. Even Xavier recently walked with a spring in his step and a beaming face. Since the last banquet, Lena began to get close to me. Every afternoon, she would pull me to their gossip tea party. I heard that Jocelyn somehow found a sucker. The other party actually agreed to lend her $1 million to pay off her debts. TSK. It can't be a sugared Addie, right? Jocelyn is still quite good-looking. According to the way they spend money, it won't be long before they owe millions again. It's a bottomless pit. I ate the cake in small bites, unable to suppress my worry about Leo. Forget it. He can spend his own money however he wants. We are already strangers. 22. Seeing me looking listless every day. My mom couldn't sit still. I introduced a very nice boy to you. Go and get to know him. Don't refuse. You can't always be immersed in the past and not come out. I obediently went on a blind date. The other person is a self-employed entrepreneur who runs a company. I heard that he earns millions a year and has a house and a car. The man is not very old. Looking around, he has an elegant appearance and a refined temperament. But as soon as he opened his mouth, I wanted to run away. I've read your profile. You are very good and very suitable for marriage. You can cook. Your work is not busy. You have weekends off and can take care of the family. And from the way you look, you are also the kind who is honest, responsible and family-oriented. You should marry someone like you. The man's delicate face gradually overlapped with Leo's. I put down my cup heavily. I don't like cooking. I like going to nightclubs. I dance every day until morning. Then I have a cup of coffee and go to work directly. I hate doing housework the most. I haven't washed a single bowl since I grew up. Hiring an nanny after marriage is my minimum requirement. My hobby is buying bags. After we get married, you have to give me 50,000 every month to buy bags. Can you do it? Sure enough. The man was quickly scared away before he even had time to warm the seat. At least he is a person of quality. Before leaving, he politely found an excuse. Theft. The boy at the next table was amused by me and couldn't stop laughing. He held his coffee and came over to sit in front of me. I bet you've never been to a nightclub. I looked up at him. His eyebrows were flying. His skin was wheat-colored. And there was a very exaggerated chain hanging around his neck. This is a young and fashionable boy. His dress is exaggerated and his personality is flamboyant. He is completely different from Leo. I seriously raised my hand and bent my middle finger and ring finger downward. Sui-I. 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 See? I can dance in nightclubs. 23. The boy held his stomach and laughed until tears came out. Oh my God. You are so interesting. I'm Hayden. Can we get to know each other? I politely smiled, revealing 8 dazzling white teeth. No. Mandy. What are you doing? A furious voice rang out. Leo walked in from the gate and forcefully pulled my arm to lift me up from my seat. Looking at his menacing appearance, I couldn't help clenching my fist. It's been 2 months since we last saw each other. Leo. Let go of me. What I do has nothing to do with you. We've already broken up. Who said we've broken up? Did I agree? Leo glared fiercely at Hayden, then turned his head and glared at me. Mandy. You've gone too far this time. I told you. Right? I hate it the most when people use breaking up as a threat. I looked at Leo calmly. It is said that women's breakups are different from men's. A woman's pain decreases over time, while a man's is the opposite. Leo was in disheveled clothes, unshaven, and haggard. He was no longer as neatly dressed and refined as before. Are you following me? For a moment, Leo's expression was flustered. Then he calmed down again and returned to his previous arrogant and noble appearance. I just want an explanation. I rubbed my wrist that he had held so tightly that it hurt. The explanation is that we've broken up. I've broken up with you seriously. Do you understand? Leo looked at me in disbelief. Say it again? I looked up at this man I had loved for 7 whole years. The 2-month breakup hadn't changed him at all. Still so confident and proud. A deep sense of exhaustion welled up in my heart. I lowered my eyes. Let's break up. Leo. Don't see each other again. 24. Mandy. You will regret it. Leo left after throwing down a sentence. His steps were flustered and his back looked a bit embarrassed. His pride wouldn't allow him to open his mouth to recover. And I also wanted to have my own pride. Hey. Really, can't we get to know each other? Hayden followed me all the way to the coffee shop door. I turned around and looked at him sternly. If you keep following me, I'll be angry. The harm Leo brought me was so great that when I saw a man, my head would throb with pain. The next day, almost as soon as I arrived at the company, Lena peeked around and sat down next to me. Xavier and Jocelyn got divorced. I heard that Jocelyn found out that Xavier doesn't earn much but spends more than she does. The two got married and divorced quickly. They even fought at the Civil Affairs Bureau entrance. It was very ugly. In the end, a man came to the Civil Affairs Bureau to pick up Jocelyn. It is said that he is quite handsome. It seems to be the sucker who lent her money last time. I was stunned by a series of news. Did you install a surveillance camera on Jocelyn? Well, I naturally have my sources of information. Have you seen Jocelyn's Weibo? That man seems to be her first love. I opened my phone, and the first thing I saw was a photo taken in a car. The man's hand on the steering wheel was clean and slender, and there was a simple platinum ring on his left ring finger. This ring was bought by me and Leo when we just graduated from college. He said that for many people, graduation season is breakup season, but he hoped that we could be together forever. When he gave me the ring, his expression was indifferent. But I was so excited that I held the ring and cried. Later, he rarely wore this ring, saying that it was inconvenient for work and easy to catch on clothes. Unexpectedly, he started wearing it after we broke up. Jocelyn also added a paragraph of text to the photo. The person I loved when I was young. Seeing you again still makes my heart flutter. After so many years of going around, it's still you by my side. 25. Leo should feel the same way. So he was so lose one's composure when he saw Jocelyn. After 7 years together. Still can't beat the first love. I put down my phone and refocused on my work. After work, when I came to the company entrance, I saw a person who surprised me very much. Leo? Leo was standing downstairs wearing a white shirt. His beard was shaved very clean. And he looked elaborately dressed up. When he saw me coming, he was obviously nervous. He turned around and took out a large bouquet of roses from the car. Mandy, I'm here to pick you up from work. This is the first time Leo has given me flowers. Unexpectedly. It's after we broke up. I gave a self-mocking smile. What was this supposed to be? Pick up Jocelyn in the afternoon, and then pick me up at night? I drove myself. I brandished the car key in my hand at him. Leo's face turned cold. Mandy, haven't you made enough trouble? I've already put aside my pride, and taken the initiative to show goodwill. What else do you want? I was really rather tired. Leo, why can't you understand human language? I'm not playing hard to get nor am I using breaking up to threaten you. We have truly broken up. If you have the time, you better go find Jocelyn. A flash of joy crossed Leo's face. Are you jealous? There's really nothing between me and Jocelyn. I've already said that going to her wedding is just to bid farewell to my youth. Lending her money is just because I feel sorry for her. I really don't like her anymore. I really couldn't hold back anymore. Leo, your clingy appearance is really ugly. Those who know you will always know how to hurt you. Sure enough. Leo was very hurt. He stared at me in a daze for a while, threw the flowers on the ground, and turned around and left. 26. In the following days, Leo was quiet for a few days. From time to time, I could see Leo on Jocelyn's Weibo. He took her to eat at a Western restaurant. They went skiing, camping, and even went skydiving, lean on each other, accompany each other, and heal each other. The first thing Leo did after being healed was to come looking for me again. Mandy, I am willing to put aside my self-esteem and all my pride. Can you come back to me? Really? Then post on Moments first? Sure enough. Leo hesitated. He is a person who cares a lot about face. He thinks boasting about love and happiness on Moments is a very childish thing and very effeminate. We have been together for so many years. And he has never posted a photo of me on Moments. I couldn't help laughing. Just kidding. Let's go. Goodbye. Just after breaking up with Leo, there were many times when I wanted to get back together with him. But as time passed gradually, I began to discover the benefits of being alone. I don't have to rack my brains every day to think about what Leo likes to eat. I don't have to change the bed sheets and pillowcases to his favorite gray color. Instead, I can use my favorite pink. All the decorations, sofas, ornaments at home, including the green plants on the balcony, can all be according to my own preferences. In these few months since breaking up with Leo, I finally found myself that I had lost. Since Leo started pestering me from time to time, the remaining bit of unwillingness in my heart has also completely disappeared. 27. A new intern came to the company. Coincidentally, it was Hayden whom I had accidentally met at the coffee shop that day. Sister, I'll leave myself in your hands from now on. Although it was about work, he said it ambiguously. I frowned and my impression of Hayden became 2 points worse. I hate playboys the most. After work, Leo didn't come, but Jocelyn did. As soon as I went downstairs, she rushed over and slapped me. Before I could react, she had already been knocked to the ground by Hayden. Sorry. I didn't see clearly. I thought you were a man. No matter male or female. You can't bully my sister. Jocelyn covered her face and stared at me venomous lie. You vixen. I am Leo's girlfriend now. Stay away from him. A trace of sadness welled up in my heart. But it quickly calmed down. From the day Leo and I were together, I should have known that as long as Jocelyn appeared, sooner or later Leo would still be hers. Having protected me in his arms, I glanced down at Jocelyn. Hayden. Let's go. Jocelyn was still relentless and wanted to come and pull me, but was pulled aside by Leo, who suddenly appeared. Jocelyn. What are you doing? Leo. You are already with me. I won't allow you to come looking for her again. Leo impatiently rubbed his brows. I've told you many times. I just regard you as a good friend. But I'm pregnant now. I'm carrying your child. 28. The scene suddenly became quiet. Leo looked at Jocelyn in disbelief. His expression panicked and he was incoherent. How is it possible? I didn't touch you. How could it be? Jocelyn bit her lip and cried pitifully. It was during that camping trip. You were drunk. Leo pushed Jocelyn away like crazy and ran to me. Mandy. I mistook her for you that time. There is only you in my heart. You must believe me. Tsk Hayed and disdainfully spat. This woman is short and has short legs. My sister Mandy is so much more beautiful than her. How drunk were you? You could even mistake this? Besides, when you're really drunk, you can't do anything. Do you think we're fools? I took Hayden's hand. Although I didn't like Leo anymore, I couldn't stop feeling sad. Hayden, let's go. Leo gave a wry smile. Mandy, there's no possibility for us anymore. Right? I raised my face and looked at him inferently. From the moment you were with me to forget Jocelyn, there's been no possibility for us anymore. Leo stopped and stood there, looking at me intently, with pain and reluctance in his eyes. I walked away without looking back. I know Leo very well. In fact, he's not a bad person, and is also very responsible. Since Jocelyn is pregnant, Leo will definitely give her an explanation. Hayden turned to look at me from time to time. Even his eyes were a bit cautious. I'm fine. I'm just a bit tired. Thank you for sending me home. I refused Hayden's suggestion to send me upstairs. At present, I'm not ready to enter into a new relationship. I just want to be alone. 29 Leo really didn't come to find me anymore. To kill time, I put more energy into my work. Hayden buzzed around me like a bee every day, calling me elder sister this and elder sister that. Colleagues in the company also began to tease us. After a long time, I also changed my opinion of him a lot. Although he is a bit glib in normal speech, he is serious and responsible in work and very responsible. More importantly, he is very diligent. I rarely see a boy as diligent as him. His workstation is spotless every day. Even the succulents on the table look more energetic than those of others. Jocelyn got married again. Lena, the gossip queen, excitedly came over with a cup of coffee in her hand. Hayden was even more excited than me. Is it with Leo? Lena glanced at Hayden warily, feeling that her position as the intelligence queen was threatened. How do you know? Jocelyn has picked up a treasure this time. I heard that the man has a house and a car, and his income is not bad. His annual salary is 300,000 or 400,000. Thanks to Leo. In these years of work, he has never picked me up at the unit and doesn't like taking group photos with me. So people in our company only know that I have a mysterious boyfriend. But no one knows who it is. Fortunately, no one knows. Otherwise, I will become the main character of gossip. I took a sip of milk tea. Has the wedding been held? Yes. It's a shotgun marriage. Jocelyn's family is very demanding. Just for the betrothal sale gift, it's tens of thousands. Anyway, with diamond rings and jewelry and so on, it can add up to nearly $1 million. And the man also added Jocelyn's name to his own house with full payment. That house is worth at least 5 or 6 million. I nodded. Quite generous. Lena flicked her hair. What's so generous? That's why Jocelyn is terrific. She is pregnant with twins of different sexes. This really pinches the lifeblood of the man's family. If they don't agree to her conditions, she says she won't get married and will go to the hospital to have the baby aborted. I heard that Leo's parents were so scared that they almost knelt down and kowtowed. Well, they agreed to all her requests. Everyone listened and sighed. She's also a powerful character. There will be excitement in her husband's family in the future. 30. I saw Leo again a year later. He and his mother were walking in the park, each pushing a baby carriage. The dark circles under their eyes were almost as big as those of pandas. When seeing me, Leo was obviously panicked. He quickly hid behind his mother. Hello, Auntie. I took the initiative to say hello. Leo's mother was obviously also very surprised. She rubbed her eyes and looked at me. Then she took a step forward and held my hand. Before she could speak, tears fell down. Mandy. Auntie misses you. What's the situation? Leo was very embarrassed. His face flushed red and he pushed the 2 children towards the lawn in the south. Leo's mother held my hand and began to scold Jocelyn bitterly. Only then did I know that Leo had actually divorced. Jocelyn is extravagant in spending and doesn't know how to do housework. Leo is busy with work. So Leo's parents moved in to live with them. What you can't get is the white moonlight. After living together, the white moonlight soon becomes a grain of rice stuck on clothes. Jocelyn is passionate and romantic and soon can't stand the life of daily necessities. Just after giving birth, she began to leave the children at home and go out to play all day. She drinks, goes to discos and participates in various parties. She spends money like water and soon spends all the savings Leo put with her. She even knows a lot of credit card debts. To pay off the debts, Leo sold the house and moved to his parents' old house and took back all the cards at home. Leo desperately pays off debts while Jocelyn desperately spends money. Soon Leo couldn't stand it anymore. He went to the company and changed the name of his salary card to his parents. He gave up on himself and became a deadbeat like Jocelyn. Leo's family didn't give Jocelyn a penny anymore and the credit cards couldn't be swiped either. Jocelyn, who is used to being extravagant, couldn't stand this. So she proposed a divorce. She took the last bit of savings from Leo's family, threw the 2 children away and left gracefully. 31. I listened to all this in astonishment and couldn't believe my ears. For 2 children, she doesn't want any of them? Leo's mother wiped away a tear bitterly. That's an ungrateful person. There is no one in her eyes except herself. I really hate it. It's all Leo's fault for being blind and losing such a good wife as you. Leo's mother held my hand full of hope. Mandy, are you married? Looking at your many years of relationship with Leo, is there any possibility for you too? I took back my hand with a wry smile and casually told a lie. Auntie, I'm already married. Leo's mother still hasn't changed at all. She likes to talk to herself. I must be crazy to raise 2 children for their family. After making up an excuse and leaving, I looked at Leo's embarrassed back and felt a bit of emotion. Now he has to go to work during the day and take care of the children at home at night. And there are 2 children. The house is gone and the savings are gone. I heard that because of poor sleep at night. His work state is very poor. He has been demoted by 2 levels and his income is much less than before. When young, people always think that excitement and passion are the most important. But when you really start living a life, you will find that those people who seem boring and dull in peacetime can often walk with you longer. I hope Leo can learn this lesson and find a better wife in the future. But it will probably be very difficult. After all, no one wants to be the stepmother of 2 children. I couldn't help feeling a bit emotional. When I returned to the company after finishing my business, Lena and Haden were chatting inimicably. Jocelyn has gone into prostitution. I was choked by my own saliva and coughed desperately. Hayden quickly got up and gently patted my back. Are you okay? I nodded with a red face and couldn't believe my ears. Who did you say has gone into prostitution? Is it the prostitution in that sense? Lena rolled her eyes, expressing disdain for my fuss. I had guessed it long ago. You said a young and beautiful girl loves luxury goods, enjoys life, spends money like water, and is unwilling to work seriously. What else can she do except find a man to support her? But Jocelyn is quite capable. She is in a high-end game, accompanying for play and sleep. She finally found the right way. Normal marriage is not suitable for her, and ordinary office workers can't afford to support her. Hayden nodded seriously. Leo is really blind. The one who drinks with you is a soulmate, but the one who cooks with you is not. Good love is always a steady flow. There will be a time when he regrets it. After work, Haddon, as usual, asked me as usual, and then pricked up his ears and waited for me to refuse him for the umpteenth time. Sister Mandy, have a meal together in the evening? I nodded with a smile. Sure. Where shall we go? Hayden was stunned. Immediately, he put away his cynical look and even stammered when speaking. Are you serious? Just the two of us? I turned around tittering. If you don't want to go, then forget it. Hayden anxiously trotted over to me. Let's go. Let's go. Hot pot. Barbecue. Western food. We can eat whatever you want. The Endleo's extractor one. Mandy moved away and even blocked all my contact information. I was almost angered into laughter. Just because of Jocelyn's matter? Sure enough. All women in the world are equally unreasonable. People who usually don't lose their temper can be quite resolute when they do lose their temper. But Mandy has loved me for 7 years. I don't believe she is willing to leave me. It's good that she left. At least there won't be people surrounding me and asking questions all the time. And there will be no peace. But after a few days, I found something was wrong. In the past, when I got home from work, Mandy would come up to me as soon as she heard the sound of me opening the door. She would take the coat and bag from my hand, pass me slippers, and sometimes stuff something into my mouth. Now, when I get home, it is cold and quiet. There is no delicious meal, no gentle words, only darkness and silence. My clothes have piled up into a small mountain on the sofa. But after a tiring day, I really don't want to move a finger. The floor hasn't been mopped for several days. It feels slippery when stepped on, which makes me, who has always been fond of cleanliness, very uncomfortable. Forget it. As a big man, lowering my head occasionally is nothing. It's been almost a month since we separated. Mandy's anger should have subsided long ago. She is probably waiting for me to find her. I searched through the chat records on my phone and finally found Mandy's company address. Come to think of it, I have never picked her up from work. Thinking of Mandy's excited expression later, I couldn't help but smile. I was a step late. Mandy had already driven away. I followed behind her. Unexpectedly, she actually came to go on a blind date. But obviously she didn't like that blind date man. With a small sullen face, she looked very unhappy. Well, with me as a jewel before her, I don't believe she can like other men. But as soon as the blind date man left, another boy came over to strike up a conversation. Since when has Mandy become so fond of attracting attention? I was very angry. That man looked unruly, and didn't look like a good person at first sight. Mandy ignored me and also said that we had broken up and asked me not to pester her. I was angered into laughter. Where did she learn this trick? I hate it when women use breaking up as a threat. I don't want to spoil her bad habit. 2. After ignoring Mandy for a few days, unexpectedly Jocelyn came to find me. She cried and said that she had been cheated and married a man, just after helping her husband pay off his debts last time. He ran off again. Jocelyn got divorced, and the two sides had a very ugly fight. Looking at her sad and painful appearance, I also felt uncomfortable. This is the person I had in my heart during my youth. I hope she can be happy forever. To help Jocelyn get out of the pain of divorce, I accompanied her to play for several days. Jocelyn hasn't changed at all. She is still that innocent and lovely look. But I often think of Mandy. If Jocelyn makes me excited, Mandy makes me feel at ease. Excitement is fleeting. Where there is peace of mind is the destination. I decided to go back and find Mandy. After so long, her anger should have subsided. Right? There was a very familiar boy standing beside Mandy in the parking lot. Tall stature. Flamboyant crew cut. This boy is too aggressive, which makes me dislike him very much. Mandy ignored me. She said she had had enough of my pestering. Mandy is gentle, kind, and considerate. I have never seen her look so impatient and angry. A trace of panic began to emerge in my heart and quickly spread throughout my body. I stood stiffly, my mind a blank. She didn't seem to be acting on a whim. Instead, she broke up with me very seriously. I returned home like a walking corpse and sat on the balcony all night. After 7 years of being together day and night, I can't leave her long ago. I love her. I can't live without Mandy. Even if I throw away all my dignity, I will win her back. 3. I can't win Mandy back. Jocelyn is pregnant. I understand Mandy. Although she seems to have a good temper, she has her own bottom line. Once I step on the bottom line, there will be no possibility for us anymore. I don't know why I touched Jocelyn that night. I clearly warned myself that we were just friends. I really can't remember the specific details. When I got up in the morning, Jocelyn had already gone for a run. I thought it was just a dream of mine. Since there is a child, I must be responsible to the end. Looking at Jocelyn's charming face, there is not a trace of joy in my heart. I have completely lost Mandy. Because of pregnancy, Jocelyn's temper has become worse than before. She often throws things and shouts because of a little thing. Regret is like a vine growing in my heart. She put forward many very excessive demands. I didn't know that there were so many procedures to go through for engagement and marriage. When I was preparing to get engaged with Mandy before, even the clothes were prepared by her. The youthful throbbing was quickly exhausted in the daily necessities. Jocelyn's voice also annoys me extremely. I have even forgotten what I liked about her. Selfish, cold-hearted, fond of pleasure-seeking, without any sense of responsibility, vain, and slovenly in life. For such a woman, why on earth did I carefully keep her in my heart for so many years? I regret it so much. But time can never go back. 4. Jocelyn has gone crazy. Hundreds of thousands of yuan I left with her have been spent completely. She still owes a large amount of debt. Only now do I understand that her ex-husband was also a lie. She has ruined my family and also ruined my lifelong happiness. I can't let her ruin my whole life. I want a divorce. Life after divorce is indeed very difficult. But without the burden of Jocelyn, our family is gradually getting better. My parents help me take care of the child, and I work even harder. However, due to poor sleep, I am in a very bad state and have made many mistakes in succession. I have been demoted. But it doesn't matter. I believe all this is only temporary. I found an Annie to take care of the child, and began to stay in the company, and work overtime day and night. As long as I work hard enough, sooner or later I can get everything I want. Jocelyn has gradually disappeared from my life. Some people say she has become an escort. I don't care at all. I just wish she would die outside. Taking care of a child is really troublesome. Either getting sick, or getting injured. I took leave and rushed to the hospital in a hurry. Feeling extremely irritated, my son was hit by an electric bike while playing in the community. The injury is very serious and he needs a blood transfusion. Looking at the report brought by the doctor, I am stunned. I am not the child's biological father and the blood types don't match. This child is Xavier's. Jocelyn was pregnant when she got divorced. I just said that it seemed that I didn't do anything with Jocelyn that night. I was deceived by her. Jocelyn has caused me so much misery. The child I have raised for 3 years turns out to be someone else's in the end. Xavier's parents happily recognize the child back. Looking at my empty home, I just feel that my life is like the biggest joke. End. 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 End.